it looks like for your forecast in Bangor. You're going to start out with rainfall tonight, then through the overnight hours that transitions into snow, and you are just going to keep those snowflakes coming all the way into tomorrow morning. And it's also just so cold this weekend. We've got a lot of winter weather advisories out there, so make sure that you're staying bundled up. Alex?
All right, well, we got the rundown on who's getting their first snow of the season in our winter weather update in just a bit. But the first poll for the college football playoff, that came out this week. How will this weekend's weather play a role in the jockeying for the top spot? Stay tuned for your college football forecast to find out.
This is Phyllis. Phyllis is headed to a science conference, so she's not thinking about tires right now. But if she were, all she'd need to know is TireRack.com. She could view the complete selection of Continental tires at TireRack.com. Then she'd have the confidence to drive safely in any weather. But Phyllis isn't thinking about tires. Phyllis is thinking, well, I'm not really sure, but it's probably important. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
This is a good idea. Shh. I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
There's been a cemetery!
I typed my name, and Ancestry opened the door to my past. Before my eyes, my family story was revealed. And the further I traveled back, the more I discovered. Let Ancestry guide you through the world's largest online collection of family history records. Discover your story today at Ancestry.com.
Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping.
You're driving along, having a perfectly nice day, when out of nowhere, a pickup truck slams into your brand new car. 1 second, it wasn't there, and the next second, boom, you had your first accident. Now you have to make your first claim. So you talk to your insurance company, and boom, you're blindsided for a second time. They won't give you enough money to replace your brand new car. Don't those people know you're already shaken up?
Liberty Mutual's new car replacement will pay for the entire value of your car, plus depreciation. Call 1-888-731-2166. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Switch to Liberty Mutual Insurance and you could save up to $423. Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-888-731-2166. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
5891, that's 1-800-985-5891.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by LL Bean. 100% satisfaction guaranteed and free shipping every day.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
Currently in our area, 63 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, this Arctic blast having a huge impact on college football games on Saturday. Take a look at this huge Big 12 matchup. Number 7 TCU going into Morgantown, West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers. It is going to be rainy, cold, and windy all game long. Our next game going into Landover, Maryland. Notre Dame coming in to take on Navy. The rain should be stopping throughout the game, but it is still cold and windy. And speaking of wind, check out the winds in Atlanta for Georgia Tech. They're hosting Virginia. Temperatures in the 40s, but winds all game long, sustained over 20 miles per hour, gusting even stronger than that. Now, again, the most visually intimidating game, we got to take you on to North Carolina. Boone, Appalachian State, taking on the Georgia State Panthers. These guys play in the dome. They're not used to this. App State, oh yeah, they're used to this. Not their first game in the snow, and that's what we have all game long. Snow is coming down, being blown around by some strong gusty winds, and temperatures in the middle 30s. This will definitely be the game to watch if you're like sports and weather together. A lot of action going on with both on the field on Saturday afternoon. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Yeah, we've got a lot of places that are going to be feeling that cool air. It's going to be some interesting football weather, and if you're tailgating, boots with the fur.
Yes.
You're going to need
Coats.
faux fur. Just saying, faux fur with your scarves and everything.
All right, let's check it out. Of course, we got the top 25. Start with Mississippi State at number 1, all the way to 25, Louisville. That's
Which, of course, Louisville just lost to Florida State on Thursday night.
Exactly. So let's talk about where we could deal with some issues, and it's clearly the eastern third, western half of the country where things could be a little dicey out there.
Yeah, chilly to say the least, though, in a few spots for us.
Absolutely. All right, let's work our way up into Ohio here. Show you how things will be faring. If I can hopefully click on the map. It doesn't seem to want to cooperate.
Come on, little feller.
Doesn't want to work. Oh, there we go. All right, we're going to work our way up into Columbus. Ohio State and Illinois going at it.
The Ohio State.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Buckeye fans. Here we go. We've got 40 for 6 o'clock and dropping into the 30s. Very windy as well throughout the game.
That's a brutal forecast. I think for even you folks that are nice and sturdy in the Midwest, that's going to be a rough one. And you have to be sturdy, right?
Yeah.
Right now, because it's chilly.
It is. We got Dr. Greg Postel. He's in the lab with analysis on this Arctic blast.
Yeah, guys, I'm pretty wimpy. I'm not a big fan of being out in the cold. And actually, if you're in South Carolina right now, it's not cold it's also snowing. Look at that right there, right in central South Carolina. Greenville had snow. Columbia had snow. The earliest snow on record for both of those places. And that is a cold pocket aloft right in there that is hosting that snow. Notice it's rain on the edges. Warm aloft is right around the edges, but the nasty cold stuff is right here, and that's moving southeast across the state. This has been the case all morning. You can see some of the regions right here. If you're traveling, for example, along I-20, you're going to run into moderate to occasionally heavy accumulating snow. Likewise, along parts of I-26, Orangeburg, Barnwell, watch out. Snow is moving toward the south and southeast, believe it or not. How far southeast will it get? It might get to I-95 in a little bit. Right now, Interstate 26 in Columbia, they just are sort of going through this transition between snow to a mixture of snow and rain, and then over to rain as the core of the cold air moves off on toward their south and east. So they may turn over to completely rain very soon, and that will be it for them. But just 10 miles to their west, look what happened. Look at this picture from Lexington, South Carolina, 10 miles west of Columbia, South Carolina. Look at all that snow with accumulations of at least an inch, and we know places to the northwest upstate got a couple of inches at least. There it is right now with the temperatures on here, and I put the temperatures on here because look at some of these numbers. 41 in Greenville, 38 in Columbia, and you might think, how is it possibly going to snow when you have temperatures that much above freezing? Well, it has to do with the fact that the air aloft is so cold and it's kind of supporting the snow almost to the ground, even though our temperatures near the surface are above 32. So if you look at the vertical profile of temperature, this is what we're getting. Only a couple thousand feet above the ground, the temperature's right at about 32. So snowflakes, for example, I'm going to try to draw a good snowflake. I messed up last time. There's a star for a snowflake. It's snowing at 1,000 to 2,000 feet, right? But by the time it goes to the ground, it doesn't have enough time to melt. The air near the ground may be above freezing, but it's such a shallow layer, the thing just keeps going down all the way as snow. And it's not just there. This whole storm system moves up the coast. It's going to bring likely rain, we think, along the I-95 I-95 corridor. But I think down East Maine and northern Maine will get some significant snow, maybe as much as a foot. Guys, stay tuned for all that. That would be later on tomorrow night. Back to you in the studio.
A foot, that's a lot. Okay, we've got a lot coming up as far as the weather's concerned in this Arctic blast.
Yep, bundling up, that's what we're doing. How long is it going to last? We'll show you next.
With diabetes, it's tough to keep life balanced. I don't always have time to eat like I should. That's why I like Glucerna shakes. They have slowly digestible carbs to help minimize blood sugar spikes.
Glucerna, the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building, turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
There was no question she was the one. She reminds you every day. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Right, these should be good. Oh, well, that didn't work. Henry? Gorilla. It never works. Gorilla Super Glue. Of course.
Other super glues get brittle and break. Gorilla Super Glue's rubber-toughened formula holds even after repeated drops and bumps.
Oh, thanks. You know, this reminds me of the time, and you're gone.
Gorilla Super Glue for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel, a Daredevil's tightrope walk 50 stories over windy Chicago. Jim Cantori's there to show us how dangerous the weather got. Plus, could the new pocket of Arctic air keep people from voting at the polls and possibly change the balance of power? All Monday morning on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 63 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Whoa! crazy scenes as the Windy City lives up to its name. Gusts reaching more than 60 miles an hour and waves topping 21 feet. That's just the beginning of the wild winter weather we're coming to see in the coming days.
And those winds could prove to be a problem for tightrope walker Nick Wallenda. He's daring to cross the Chicago skyline on Sunday. What conditions will he face and challenges will he face? Our Jim Cantore is breaking it down.
Ooh, that sounds a little frightening.
It is, when you see what this guy's attempting to do. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wallace.
We're trying not to frighten you too early on this Saturday morning. I'm Kate Parker.
All right, well, I tell you, it was intense, pretty intense there across the Chicagoland area. In fact, Lake Michigan, waves reaching as high as 21 feet. I mean, you certainly don't see this very often.
This is incredible footage. I mean, that is just insane. You had that long period fetch going on, and that's what was causing those waves to be so big, and it is because of this Arctic blast. So this low that has and this dip in the jet stream is what we're talking about. Let's get right to it so we can talk about what's going on with this Arctic weather and what you can anticipate in the coming days, because it is the first flakes for some of you of the year, and it's pretty early. In fact, take a look at this dip in the jet stream. Talk about amplified. This is just straight south, bringing that cold air into the eastern half of the U.S., including as far south as Atlanta, where there were snowflakes this morning. That dry air hanging out a little farther to the south, though, so if you're in Florida, you're staying dry today, but you're not in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, you've transitioned back to rain at this point, but Columbia, you had your first snowfall of the season, and it is the earliest on record. In fact, just west of Columbia, we have a report of over 4.5 inches of snow. Get that. That's incredible. How about this snow up in the Smokies? This is incredible here because we're seeing over 16 inches of snow and roads closed at this time. So you can see that swirl. It's awesome of that low pressure system. Really remarkable stuff. That's what's amazing out there about the weather this morning. How about another 3 to 5 inches going to be expected from North Carolina stretching up into Virginia, really in the mountains there. And then as we get later into today, we're going to see some of those snow showers pick up in Buffalo. But tonight we see a few more patches of blue and pink here. That rain transitioning into snow as that cooler air moves into the northeast. By tomorrow, you're talking about snow down East Maine, Bangor. You're going to be seeing plenty of it. Caribou, get ready. You're talking about a foot of snow already. That's a possibility. That's the high end of the forecast, but certainly not out of the question there. Berlin, Portland, Maine, you're going to be more in the 3-inch range rather than quite in that 5 to 8-inch range. But well, I tell you what, Alex, regardless, it is cold no matter where you are. Look at these alerts. We've got freeze warnings and freeze watches in place all across the U.S.
All right, Kate. And I tell you, as you just showed you on the radar, parts of North Carolina getting that taste of winter, all thanks to this Arctic blast. We're already seeing the snow there in the North Carolina mountains, and Mike Seidel joins us live from Sugar Mountain. And Mike, who would have thought you would have had to make it into the Carolinas to find the sort of the first decent snows of the season?
Yeah, usually they have me up there in, say, the upper Midwest. Last year, the first storm I covered was on October 4th, 16 inches in Casper, Wyoming. I remember that, Friday, October 4th. In fact, all of last winter, I measured 187.5 inches of snow. It was the most I've ever seen in about 20 years on the road for the Weather Channel. So we'll see how it goes this year. It's going to be tough to get 15.5 feet at my live locations. And I'm competing with Mr. Cantore, as you well know. Out here, we've got about 6 inches of snow. It's blowing and drifting around. We've got winds still gusting up to 40 miles an hour. The temperature's 22. The wind chill is only 4 above zero. So we also have some bare spots. We're here at the mountaintop at Sugar Mountain, 5,300 feet. So that helps, sticking up into the clouds, and certainly keeps it colder as you go up in elevation. It usually gets colder, and these lifts will likely be on tomorrow morning. They're most likely going to open up. We'll get the final word later on today, and they would open at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we get an extra hour's sleep tonight. So that helps you out if you want to come up from Charlotte or Atlanta. Make those plans now. And you come up the hill here, and I think some of the prettier pictures are right here in the woods here as the snow coated the trees earlier because it was warmer. When it started flaking yesterday afternoon about 3 o'clock, it was 36 degrees as a wet snow. But overnight, once that front blew on through, we have nosedived. As Kate mentioned, a lot of snow up in the Smoky Mountains. Those roads are shut down. That's 441 from Cherokee on the east side to Gatlinburg on the west side. Some of those peaks like Mount LeConte are up there around 6,600 feet. Some of the highest peaks east of the Black Hills of South Dakota. We're going to have this kind of weather all day. Temperatures will get nowhere near freezing. The snow guns are on, and I think it's going to be a 2-thumbs-up ski day tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep you updated. Alex and Kate, back to you from Sugar Mountain here in North Carolina. Not North Dakota on November 1st, but North Carolina.
Well, hopefully you get to hit the slopes a little tomorrow. I know that you and your photographer, Matt Safert, there from the Weather Channel, you are going to be real excited to do some of that.
Wow. All right. Well, you know what? He's not one to back down from a challenge. We're not talking about Mike Seidel.
Well, he's not either.
Yeah, of course. After some pretty jaw-dropping walks, Nick Wallenda is at it again.
Tomorrow, Wallenda will walk between skyscrapers. And this morning, Jim Cantore joins us live. This time, he's gone up in elevation. Jim, you look a little higher up now than you were before.
Yeah, about 600 feet or so. It's a little windier up here, a little chilly, about 37 degrees. But look at the view here, guys. Looking out toward Lake Michigan, absolutely gorgeous from this vantage point. We're on Marina Tower East, okay? So let me swing you around. There's the Leo Burnett building right there. And you can see how the wire pretty much goes downhill from the Leo Burnett back to Marina Tower West. Now, he's going to walk. The first walk is Nick's going to walk from Marina Tower West uphill toward the Leo Burnett building. And with the winds coming in out of the south, he should have a little bit of a headwind or a wind in his face. But what we don't know, guys, is what's going to happen with the wind as it comes around that building. Are you going to get eddies so he actually has more of a wind in his back? We'll see, all right? Because this is all unknowns here. Now, what we're going to see, the second walk, the blindfolded walk, is going to be from Marina Tower West over there on over toward Marina Tower East. It doesn't look that long from here. It almost looks like you can jump it, but trust me, it's about 95 feet across and about 600 feet down. I got a chance to talk to Nick Wallenda yesterday about his concerns for the walks. When we look at the forecast for Sunday night, are you happier to see a change in wind direction? Are you happier to see
the wind direction
the temperatures warming up a little bit?
Absolutely. Warmer weather, of course. I mean, the one challenge that I'm having is I don't want to wear gloves. I've practiced with gloves and I just don't feel comfortable. So I'm probably going to have exposed hands. There'll be exposed skin. So it's going to be cool. So the warmer the weather, the better. Of course, with those winds combined, we know it's going to be pretty cold.
And you haven't trained in anything cold?
I have not. I've not trained in specifically anything cold. Absolutely not, no.
All right, so with the wind that we're dealing with on Sunday night, maybe right in your face for the first leg, and then a crosswind, how do you deal with that?
It's just about adjusting as I feel that wind. Being right in my face is actually not such a bad thing because I'm walking uphill and I'll be leaning into that. I can lean into it a little bit more, so that doesn't bug me at all. Now, coming from the side for the blindfold, that's not too exciting, but I'd prefer that it was coming from my front or back, but we'll make adjustments, and I'm sure that we'll make it safely.
So here you are in Chicago. It's snowing out. What does that do to your mindset?
I know it sounds funny, and even to me, I'm going, why am I not freaking out about this? But I really feel calm about it. I really feel like, and everything that I'm seeing is pointing to better weather for Sunday, and I'm going to focus on that. And my whole life, I've chose to focus on the positive, not the negative. So that's what I'm going to continue to do about the weather, and we'll see how it plays out.
All right, we're just a wonderful man to talk to. Here's the forecast. Here's what we see by the time Sunday night rolls around and Nick makes his walks. We're talking about temperatures that'll be in the low 40s here. The winds, though, still an issue here, up 25, gusting over 30 miles per hour, and that means a wind chill factor down around freezing. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
What's in a can of Del Monte green beans?
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaf.
Grown in America, picked and packed at the peak of ripeness, with no artificial ingredients. Del Monte, bursting with life.
Andrew. Rita. Sandy. Meet Chris. Jackie. Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Fact. Every time you take Advil, you're taking the medicine doctors recommend most for joint pain. More than the medicine in Aleve or Tylenol, the medicine in Advil is the #1 doctor recommendation for joint pain. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Hi. Are we still on for tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Quick look at the weather. Nice today, beautiful tomorrow.
Tomorrow is full of promise.
We can come back tomorrow.
And we promise to keep it that way. Driven to preserve the environment, CSX moves a ton of freight nearly 450 miles on 1 gallon of fuel.
What a day.
Can't wait till tomorrow. Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
The getaway vehicle.
For all the confidence you need. TD Ameritrade. You got this.
40 past the hour right now. We want to update you on a developing story out west. Right now, evacuations underway of about 11 homes after an early morning mudslide. That's in Camarillo Springs, California, near Ventura.
Yeah, heavy rain and the potential for further mud flow led to the evacuation order along the 6400 block of San Como Lane in Ventura County. 11 homes affected by the initial mudslide, with the home most impacted having waist-deep mud throughout. That's according to reports. Only one person had to be rescued. And joining us on the phone right now is Jason Karp with the American Red Cross. Jason, thank you so much for joining us here this early morning. I understand you're helping there with the evacuations.
That's correct. The Office of Emergency Services notified us of the mud flow and asked us to be prepared to open an evacuation shelter if needed.
Okay, so you guys have a lot of rain coming onshore there. That's where you've seen that mudslide originate from. Are you concerned that there could be more? It's still dark, right? Are you starting to get some sunlight?
Well, yes, the sun is starting to show itself out here, and this is always a concern. This neighborhood, Camarillo Springs, is right at the place where the huge Springs wildfire, occurred or started in May 2013. And that's the way it is in California, where we have a terrible fire that strips the hillsides, and then when we do get rain, which of course we need, the potential for mudslide is there.
Now, Jason, I just want to get more confirmation on how many folks have been evacuated, and how long do you think it'll take before they can maybe get back into where they need to be?
Gotcha. We've just received word that they have looked at the hillside and determined that there is not an immediate threat of more mudslide. They're calling it stable enough that there will not be an overall evacuation. The Red Cross has been speaking to residents in the area to see if any of them have need for temporary housing. All of them have told us that they are able to find housing or any other temporary situations they need. So no evacuation, no shelter at this time.
Good, Jason. That's good news. Thank you so much for being with us this morning and bringing us the very latest on that breaking news. All right. Well, it's that time of the year again. It's good news for some, like us who work in the early mornings. Bad news for others who like a little sunshine. Time to fall back for daylight saving time. It's almost automatic nowadays because of smartphones and appliances.
But it wasn't always so simple. Scott Newell takes a look at much more complicated times.
From time to time, you may have asked,
Do you have the time? The time is 4:15.
Nearly everyone these days has the accurate time, thanks to smartphones and modern watches. But go back about 170 years and things were a lot different.
Before the 1840s in Britain, people often used local time using a sundial that they could then use to adjust their watch.
That wasn't very accurate, and time after time caused big headaches.
It's very difficult trying to coordinate timetables and scheduling of railway journeys when you have all these different local times.
So England was the first country to start using a standard time, basing it on where their Royal Observatory was built in the 17th century. This is where time begins, this line called the Prime Meridian Line in Greenwich near London, England. That's an imaginary line going from north to south called 0 degrees longitude. Knowing longitudes and the time were vital to sailors navigating accurately. So at the observatory, they came up with a better way for sailors to sync their watches, a time ball.
This mechanism releases a ball at precisely 1 p.m. each day, and given here on this lovely hillside location, it makes the time ball extremely visible to mariners waiting on their boats on the Thames.
Remind you of anything? And then in 1884, the world decided to make Greenwich time the spot where every day begins, and time zones around the world use this as their starting point. It's called Greenwich Mean Time, and you know, it's not mean at all. It's a milestone in timekeeping. Well, that's it. Gotta go. Out of time. Straddling the eastern and western hemispheres in Greenwich, England for the Weather Channel, I'm Scott Newell.
I told my dentist about my sensitive teeth. He told me there's a whole new way to treat sensitivity. He suggested I try new Crest Sensi-Stop strips.
Just apply to the gum line of sensitive teeth for a quick 10 minutes. The special ingredient forms a lasting barrier that provides immediate relief and up to 1 month of protection. See why dental professionals endorse Crest Sensi-Stop strips to treat sensitivity. That's 1 strip, 10 minutes, and up to 1 month of protection. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Life opens up when you relieve sensitivity.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified asthma and allergy friendly. It's our new standard of clean. Call about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's Chevy Truck Month, time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. It's Truck Month. Trade up to this Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition for a total value of $8,500. It's Truck Month. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
From coast to coast, in every state, people all across the nation are learning something new. That the best way to protect their cars, trucks, and SUVs is with WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to perfectly protect your specific vehicle. Front, back, even up the sides. Order yours today at...
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Just looking over the company bills.
Is that what we pay for internet?
Yep, DSL's about $90 a month.
That's funny. For that price with Comcast Business, I think you get like 50 megabits.
Wow, that's fast.
Personally, I prefer slow internet. There is something about the sweet, meditative glow of a loading website.
Don't listen to the naysayer. Switch to Comcast Business today and get 50 megabits per second for $89.95. Comcast Business, built for business.
Ovation, America's only arts network. Features the art of fashion.
Right now, this is our moment.
Music. Original series.
What would this mean for you getting on the stage?
Curated films.
I truly hope so.
And more.
It'll be fun.
Watch The Fashion Fund, starring Anna Wintour and Diane von Furstenberg, premiering November 5th. Ovation, art everywhere. Watch Ovation on Xfinity.
And even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Sundays this winter. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9. Premiering December 7th on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We're going to go live now to Chris Ward, who is in Atlanta this morning.
Oh, yes, Chris. The widespread associated impacts with this storm, pretty impressive. We're seeing snow in places like Atlanta. This morning we had some snowflakes, but no freakouts, right? We're keeping it calm.
Yeah, no one's freaking out at this point, but as you mentioned, I did, just before you guys came to me, I did see a snowflake come down. Every once in a while, I mean, it's like a needle in a haystack as far as the amount of snowflakes you get here. But every once in a while, you do see one. The wind really making it feel even colder than it actually is. I'm here in downtown Atlanta. In Atlanta, like many cities in the South, waking up and going outside to freezing conditions. Not exactly, the temperature here is not at freezing, around 40 degrees, but the wind chill, you factor in the wind, you can see that wind blowing, you factor this in, you factor this wind in, and it feels like it is freezing, like it's 30 degrees. And you can see here on this traffic signal, you can see this blowing along pretty good here, and the flags whipping up. And at times you get these very gusty conditions. The winds have been consistently around 20 miles an hour, and at times gusting to around 40 and a little bit stronger than that as well. But the main thing with that wind is that it does make you feel much colder. So even though the sun's coming up and the sun is making it kind of mentally feel a little bit better, that wind brings you back to reality in a hurry. And still a lot of leaves on the trees. We have to worry about branches coming down throughout the day. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, good point, no doubt about it, Chris. And it's not just Atlanta that's extremely windy. It's a good chunk of the South.
Yeah, Dr. Greg Postell is in the lab with a look at why this Arctic blast is bringing such strong winds.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the neck. I mean, really, it's a very cold pocket of air aloft, and it's also got really strong winds just above the ground. So any kind of overturning in the lowest, say, a couple hundred feet even, maybe 500 feet, 1,000 feet, is going to bring some of those stronger winds right to the ground. We're going to see that in gusts this afternoon all across the South. Let's have a look at the radar, though, because it's not just the wind, as you mentioned before, guys. It's also the snow. We've got a pocket of snow right now across central South Carolina, surrounded by rain. So, in other words, the coldest air is right in there, and surrounding that, the circulation is a little bit warmer, and aloft is just warm enough to keep it going in the form of rain. This whole thing is moving toward the southeast in that general direction. So you may get some snow in parts of South Carolina, even farther south than where it is right now. Maybe even I-95 will get some of that. We know of accumulations of snow, significant ones, all the way from Columbia to Greenville. They've had their earliest snow on record today with this particular event. But getting back to the wind, look at some of these numbers. 24 gusts to 40 in Atlanta. I imagine our wind gusts are going to be even a little bit higher than that later on today. And this is the kind of scene that we saw in South Carolina. Look at this. They got a couple of inches of snow. This is just outside of Columbia, South Carolina, Lexington, South Carolina. All across the state, it looked like that this morning. Temperatures right now have come up a little bit. I put the numbers on here, about 40 pretty much across the board. Atlanta, we're up to 41. We'll probably be close to 50 later on today. So any accumulation is going to melt later on today. But that's not the end of this story, because this storm goes up the coast, guys, and brings mostly rain along the coastal of Middle Atlantic and New England, but also maybe some significant snow in New England. How about that? Guys, back to you.
Well, not so fast, Dr. Postell.
Yeah, you're pulling double duty today. So as things are maybe coming to just getting started with our winter activity, things are coming to an end in the tropics. What are you seeing out there?
In the East Pacific, we do have a tropical storm out there. This is Tropical Storm Vance, not too far away from Mexico, and it might actually have some impacts in the south central United States by the middle of next week. This is it, 40 miles per hour on the wind speed on estimation from the satellites. It is out to sea right now, kind of heading that way for a little while, perhaps strengthening over the weekend and early next week. Maybe a Category 1 hurricane. And notice the trajectory of this thing. It's going to probably turn one of those maneuvers and go toward the north and northeast, weakening along the way, we think, but perhaps bringing some rain, maybe some big waves into parts of Mexico, but also some enhanced moisture. Look at this blob of green. This is exceptionally moist air moving northward Monday, Tuesday, kind of day by day, getting into parts of the south central United States. There's going to be a front moving through, which would already bring some rain. This might give a little kick to it with the extra tropical juice in the area, bringing maybe substantial rains to parts of Texas by the middle of next week. Alex and Kate, back to you.
All right, we'll certainly follow that. We are continuing to track the Arctic blast that's going to affect more than 150 million people across the country.
Yeah, more than just the crazy wind gusts. Heavy rain and snow in some of the higher elevations that could top feet. We've already seen over 16 inches in the Smokies. We have everything you need to know about this wintry weekend.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. here's our 7-day outlook.
I've never seen anything like this.
Blast of cold Arctic air sweeping the U.S. this morning. In Chicago, the winds pushed waves to record heights, more than 21 feet. And that's just the start of what we're going to feel today as the cold and wind push east.
And it wasn't just the wind. We're getting an early taste of snow. We're going to show you who could see up to a foot of the white stuff before the weekend is over.
And lava, that's expected to reach the Hawaiian town of Pahoa today. We're on standby as the slow-moving threat gets dangerously close to the people living there. To you and welcome into Weather Center Live, Saturday, November 1st. I'm Alex Wallace.
And I'm Kate Parker. Many of you are recovering from a cold, windy, and wet Halloween. That Halloween hangover from candy to the witch's brew. Feeling kind of rough from Marquette, Michigan to Miami. More than 150 million people impacted by this latest Arctic blast. Close to 40 million of those are under some sort, from Texas to the Carolinas, under a freeze warning. Wind advisories stretching from coast to coast.
Then you got the winter weather advisories in the Appalachian Mountains. Winter storm watch, that's in effect now for the far northeast, where they could see up to a foot of snow before this weekend is over. And we've got our crews spread out all over the place to give you the up-to-the-minute information about all this activity. Jim Cantori live in Chicago. We've got Chris Warren in Atlanta, where we saw the first flakes fly around early this morning. And Mike Seidel live in Sugar Mountain, North Carolina, where they have seen a decent amount of snow. But first, we're going to give you an overview of what we are looking at.
Yeah, this morning in Atlanta, it smelled and felt like snow outside, and it certainly felt like it in Wisconsin yesterday. Take a look at this. Some areas seeing nearly 6 inches in the northern part of the state, and you even saw a few power outages there caused by the snow and high winds. For those little trick-or-treaters, they had to brave some seriously scary temperatures in the 20s to get that candy. But I have heard via social media that folks in that area, they said, we're used to it, and we still got out there and had a great Halloween, Alex.
Yeah, I tell you, the ones who were brave enough to get out there in the cold, they got all the candy, so now they're enjoying it today. All right, let's talk about this Arctic blast that's brought in the bitter cold, the wind out there as well, which of course is making it feel just worse. And what we've got in store and in place, all the areas in the pink, freeze warnings, and that stretches from the plains into the deep south, the Ohio Valley as well. Again, very cold numbers anticipated. This cold Arctic high building on in here for us across the eastern half of the country. That's going to lead temperatures through the weekend to be a good 10 to 20 degrees below average out there, and that stretches all the way down into even Florida. Jacksonville today, of course, we've got the big game. Georgia, Florida going at it, upper 50s, and it's going to be windy there in the stands. Hopefully that game doesn't come down to any sort of field goal kicking. Then we move into tomorrow, where the big boys will be playing. Boston, 42 degrees there for you. That's a good 15 degrees below average. Yeah, they were in Foxborough. We've got a big game between the Patriots and the Broncos. Weather could certainly be a factor there. Let's talk about what's going to happen with the flakes, because some of us have seen the first flakes of the season and are seeing it right now. Eastern parts of Tennessee into western parts of North Carolina. We've been dealing with the snow, several inches. In fact, in the Gatlinburg area, 16 inches of snow. I mean, quite a bit there. Now, you're getting pretty high up to deal with that, but still significant snows. In fact, roadways closed because of some of the snow here. And we could be looking at more in addition to what we've seen through tonight, maybe an additional pocket of 3 to 5. Otherwise, we could be looking at generally 1 to 3 inches there for you, not too far from even around Asheville. Kate?
Ooh, lots of snow there. All right. Along with the Arctic blast, first flakes of the season in a few spots in North Carolina. Winter has definitely arrived with snow in the mountains that feels a lot more like winter, well into winter than it does fall. Our Mike Seidel is joining us live from Sugar Mountain. Mike, I know that you've been out in some of the most tremendous snowstorms of all time. How does this one compare?
This is about as good as it gets for November 1st, especially considering we're in North Carolina. Now, we have a lot of elevation here, but yeah, this is pretty strong stuff, and the pictures are amazing for the first day of November. And we're at the ski slope. We're at the very top, and we've got the owner of the Sugar Mountain Ski Resort, Gunter Yokel, who's a man who's smiling this morning because he knows that more than likely you're going to have skiers on the mountain tomorrow morning.
more than likely. But right now, we're 80% sure we'll be open tomorrow. And our official open time is 9 o'clock, but all the locals know that you can get on a little earlier than that. But we're excited. You know, we're making snow to 3/4, so up and low and flying mile to 3/4 is what we're planning to have open for tomorrow.
And you told me it takes a lot of folks to get this place open up because in the summertime you only have about 30 to 40 employees.
Right, and at peak season, including the food service, we have over 500 employees. So it takes a lot to get everybody going and motivated. The good thing is that most of our supervisors are returning. And a lot of them, of course, stay with us, but they are returning people, so it's not as hard to get them going again.
And the other amazing thing about this, you know, it is November 1st. It has snowed up here before, but it's not a wet snow. This is like snow that you get in January.
It is true. It's very dry.
Very dry.
It's cold. You know, up here we're about 21 degrees right now, and the wind's blowing, so yeah, it's pretty dry.
Okay, 2 thumbs up. Let's go to Jim Cantore, who is the second best skier on the staff at the Weather Channel. Jim,
is he going to walk up on
you're
the
down there. You're up there in Chicago. You had to deal with the wind yesterday, and by the way, I have to tell him I think Paul Goodloe beat you in the last downhill. Is that right, Jim?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, a few years ago, I think he beat me by a few inches, but Paul's an excellent skier, man. I can't take that away from him. He's really he's got great form, and yeah, I was a little disappointed. I wanted to beat him, but hey, you know what? It's all in good fun, right? Let's talk about this. We look out over the Great Lake Michigan here this morning. Absolutely gorgeous shot. We are high up on top of Marina Tower East. This is where Nick Wallenda will complete his second walk, blindfolded. All right, from Marina Tower West. You can see the guys over there getting ready to actually set the wire across. That's what they're doing right now. They're getting ready to set that wire up. But let me take you back to yesterday because nobody was walking anywhere. As a matter of fact, we were gusting to 70 miles per hour on top of this building yesterday. Absolutely brutal. And you can see what resulted in that huge wave action on Lake Michigan. We had monster waves that kicked on up, some of them crashing over the Lakeshore Drive, both the north and the southbound lanes. And unfortunately, that led to a photographer getting a little bit on the wet side as a result of that. So big problems. Otherwise, there was snow in some places, as we've talked about this morning, in South Carolina, North Carolina. LaGrange, Illinois was one of those spots that got that snow, and you can see it kind of lightly accumulating there on the ground. All in all, not bad. Not bad here for early November. It's the first measurable snow, though, that we ever had at O'Hare Airport in the month of October. How about that?
Ready?
Yep, let's do this.
Hey, I'm Melissa Joan Hart.
And I'm Anthony Anderson. And guess what? The holiday season starts right now.
Yep, so head to Walmart now for unbeatable prices on food, decorations, and the top gifts of the season, all at unbeatable prices.
You can also go to Walmart.com to get what you need for the holidays. My man. Walmart's here to help you save money and make holiday shopping easier than ever.
So you can make every day till Christmas count.
Let the joy begin! Here's my ride home.
Oh, Blitzen.
No, that's Donner.
Good morning, huh? Sherry limeade, ocean water. Pretty great.
Great.
What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to calculate all the drink combinations at Sonic.
All the different sodas and the slushes and teas and everything.
The flavors, all of them.
Okay, so what is it? What's the number?
It's, hang on, now I'm getting a call. Hey, what's up, Terrence?
That is not a phone, that's a calculator.
Yeah, dude, yeah, he's here.
Wake up to the possibilities. Get any large drink for 99 cents before 10 a.m. And introducing handcrafted Sonic Splash sodas. This is how you Sonic.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel, a daredevil's tightrope walk 50 stories over windy Chicago. Jim Cantore's there to show us how dangerous the weather got. Plus, could the new pocket of Arctic air keep people from voting at the polls and possibly change the balance of power? All Monday morning on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour.
Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thursday, a Weather Channel first, the Winter Weather Prep Rally, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Best advice, try not to travel.
In the morning.
You've got our winter weather outlook.
And at night.
This is an incredibly deadly time of year. Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally, Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Introducing Nexium 24 Hour. Finally, the purple pill, the #1 prescribed acid-blocking brand, comes without a prescription for frequent heartburn. Get complete protection. Nexium Level Protection.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Agnar.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Discover Brookside and discover an exciting combination of tastes. Rich dark chocolate covering soft centers, flavored with exotic fruit juices. It's chocolate and fruit flavors like you've never experienced before. Discover Brookside.
Welcome back into Weather Center Live, taking a live look at pictures here of the Great Smoky Mountains of North Carolina. A snowy scene here for us, and a developing situation here as Interstate 40 closed at the North Carolina and Tennessee border because of snow issues here. That's right, it's having some big problems there. In fact, according to the North Carolina Department of Transportation, it may not reopen until 2 p.m. and all roads are closed there at the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Kate?
Woohoo! See, it's cold there, but may feel even colder because we're dealing with the chilly temperatures this morning, and you're hearing us mention wind chill a lot. So what is wind chill and how is it calculated? Let's throw some math at you to have with your cereal on this Saturday morning. Who needs cartoons? What you need is this derivation of the wind chill temperature, right? Okay, so we've got a lot of numbers, and the whole process of creating this was a long process created by mathematicians who also happen to be atmospheric scientists. But then here's what you need to pay attention to. See this T with this little a here and this V? Those are our two factors that are important. So this is the ambient temperature. This is the air temperature. So the actual measured air temperature without wind taken into effect. And then you into account there. And then here, this V, that's the velocity of the winds. And this is in miles per hour. So that's how fast the wind is blowing. What does this get us? This whole equation, this gets us what it actually feels like outside. So why is wind chill important? Well, what it does is it takes that warmth that your body creates. Think of it as kind of like a little warm bubble surrounding your body. And when the wind is blowing, it blows that away. So you actually lose a lot of that warmth that you're creating, not just with you, but surfaces and different things that can collect warmth. So what that means is that you can get frostbite or other and very quickly whenever it comes to this. We're talking about after just 10 degrees. This is in Fahrenheit at just a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It already feels like -4, and you go just a little bit beyond that, and you very quickly start getting into that range of frostbite after only 30 minutes, and in the extreme cases, after only 5 minutes. Alex?
Yeah, it can be brutal out there. That's why you got to bundle up. Well, we want to update you now on a developing story out west. Evacuations underway after a near early morning mudslide in the Camarillo Springs, California area. Heavy rain and the potential of further mud flow led to the evacuation order along the 6400 block of San Como Lane in Ventura County. 11 homes affected by the initial mudslide, with the home most impacted having waist-deep mud throughout. That's according to reports. Only one person had to be rescued there. So yeah, all thanks to that rain that has moved its way on into the western part of the country. There was an area that was also impacted by wildfire. So that leading to this situation. And here's what we've got in place for the day here in the western half of the country. Rather unsettled. unsettled. More wet weather, the higher terrain you'll find the snow, while the middle of the country looks for dry skies. Chilly, though, for those temperatures. They do start to rebound a bit tomorrow into the 50s, Minneapolis towards Chicago, but now we'll have to focus in on parts of the Intermountain West. Heads up, some of those passes could be quite tough to pass through because of some of the snow, parts of Idaho into Montana having to deal with that. Then Monday, things begin to progress on off towards the east. We'll deal with a frontal boundary here from Texas up through the Midwest, western lakes, some showers associated with that, but the eastern third of the country pretty quiet and dry. We'll kick off the week on Monday in Boston at 48 degrees. Tuesday, election day. Don't forget, get out the vote. That's right. We're going to be dealing with some wet weather, but don't let that stop you from getting out there from, again, the western lakes into Texas. We're going to see things rather unsettled here into Texas. We got some moisture streaming on in. Potential tropical moisture that's going to keep us wet over the next few, at least for the mid part of the week into our Thursday. We do start to see things shifting east, so the mid-Atlantic looks for some wet weather.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
She inspires you. No question about that. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
It's just freaking me out.
If you miss tomorrow night on the Weather Channel,
this is crazy.
You'll never know how twisted weather can be.
Is it real? Yeah, it's real.
Wicked Weather Sunday.
It's not a team without t-shirts.
Custom Ink t-shirts have this incredible power to bring people together. We're helping people create shirts they'll love for their groups and occasions. Online, anytime, with Custom Ink.
We bring all kinds of people together. Families, reunions, school groups, teams, companies big and small. And we're proud to say that Custom Ink has helped create over 50 million custom shirts.
Thanks, Custom Ink.
Our website makes it super easy to create custom tees. Just choose a style, a color that's perfect, and start designing. Our design lab has tons of fonts and amazing artwork.
Custom Ink really helps my business look professional, and uploading my logo was easy.
The t-shirts are a hit. Everyone loves them.
So what's your next event or gathering? Order one shirt or thousands at CustomInk.com. Start today. Free shipping and on-time delivery are guaranteed.
Thanks, Custom Ink.
891, that's 1-800-985-5891.
Thursday, a Weather Channel first, the Winter Weather Prep Rally, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Best advice, try not to travel.
In the morning.
You've got our winter weather outlook.
And at night.
This is an incredibly deadly time of year.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally, Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by LL Bean. 100% satisfaction guaranteed and free shipping every day.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back into Weather Center Live. Some developing news for you. Interstate 40 closed at the North Carolina-Tennessee border because of snow and, well, crashes there, all because of this weather.
Yeah, Jennifer Garifo with the North Carolina Department of Transportation joins us now on the phone. Good morning to you, Jennifer.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're okay, but I understand that you're a little busy there.
Yeah, it's a little busy out there in the western part of the state this morning. We've got about 15 miles of I-40 shut down in both directions in Haywood County due to multiple vehicle accidents in the snow this morning.
Now, do you have any sort of estimate on when that may be reopened?
Yeah, we're working on getting that area open by mid-afternoon. As of a little bit ago, we had gotten one of the accidents cleared out. We're working with the local highway patrol to help them. Basically, whenever the storm was forecast to come through, it was forecast to come through as rain. So we were not able to put down any brine in that area because rain will just wash away salt brine. So we've had our crews on standby to start clearing the road. So we've been working with the highway patrol this morning to get everything clear. So we hope to have it clear by mid-afternoon.
Okay, well, it looks like you've seen about 10 inches or more. We've seen reports of 16 inches in spots. So thank you for keeping everybody safe out there, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, an estimated 150 million people will feel the effects of this Arctic blast.
Now we got Dr. Greg Postel. He is in the lab, got that in-depth analysis here on this cold air mass impacting, well, a lot of folks in the eastern half of the country.
Yeah, that's right, guys. You know, we didn't just have the snow at those higher elevations, and we got a lot of it up there in parts of western North Carolina, the mountains, and eastern Tennessee. But we also had a substantial amount of snow across parts of lower elevations, under 1,000 feet, in central South Carolina. We actually have that now still. The last vestiges of it apparently right in here, just south of Columbia, South Carolina. See those blue shades right in there? That's some snow that's still ongoing right now. It is being eroded away. Some warmer air is beginning to filter in around it, and we're losing some of the snow, so the transition to rain is underway across much of South Carolina. There still may be some snow left over in the next hour or two, but primarily the big stuff is over. It's left quite a bit, a couple of inches at least in spots, and travel along I-20 and even I-26 northwest of Columbia was pretty tricky earlier today. Look at some of these pictures. This was from Lexington, South Carolina this morning, with snow accumulating pretty much on everything, including the roads, and coming down pretty hard. That was earlier today, just to the west of Columbia, South Carolina. So with this transition now beginning to take place back over to rain, you got to wonder, well, why did it snow? We never really saw a lot of surface temperatures below 32. They were mostly 34, 36, 38, even when it was snowing. So you wonder, how can that happen? I mean, some of the numbers right now, even near Columbia, they're in the upper 30s, and they're still getting some snow in the area. Well, here's why. The atmosphere aloft, above the ground, was very, very cold. I mean, even a couple hundred feet, 500 feet, 1,000 feet, was very close to 32, even though we were 38, 39, 40, right near the ground. So the snow was coming down and just didn't have any time to melt. If you look at the vertical profile of temperature, for example, over Greenville, South Carolina, this right now, or even earlier this morning, 2,000 feet, right? The temperature was about 30 degrees, but right at the surface, there was a very shallow layer of temperatures above freezing. The snow falling through the atmosphere remains snow even all the way to the ground because that warm air was so thin. That's why we saw it. And I think we're going to see mostly now rain across the middle Atlantic and on up toward the northeast as we track this snow or this storm continually that way But then look what happens across parts of Maine. Tomorrow, we're going to have northern Maine, down east Maine, get probably some substantial snow out of this. There could be upwards of a foot that way. So this is the next story we're going to have to track, because a big-time snowstorm may be honing in there on parts of Maine and even parts of southeastern Canada as well. And can't forget about, of course, parts of the higher elevations, we think, of maybe the White Mountains in New Hampshire getting maybe 1 to 3 inches or so. Alex and Kate, back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Postel. Well, of course, we are at the weekend, and all sorts of events taking place out there. How's the weather going to impact you? Let's get to a few of them, and we start you off in Norman, Oklahoma.
The National Weather Festival. Well, yeah, talk about some weather geeks there. We love it in Norman. That's where the Storm Prediction Center is located, and you'll notice it looks gorgeous. You may have to bundle up, though, but the meteorologists there know that.
All right, let's get you into Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia, the Fall Chili and Craft Festival. Yeah, you may need some chili to stay warm here this morning with showery conditions. We do see things drying out a little bit later on this afternoon into the evening.
That looks lovely. I'm an expert chili taster. Did you know that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
How about that? How about the Pecan Harvest Festival? This is in Whiteville, North Carolina. Weather not so great there, but later tonight, the rain will come to an end.
That looks terrible.
Hey there! Gorilla Clear Repair.
Of course.
Gorilla Clear Repair provides a high-tack adhesive with durable, weather-resistant backing that conforms for a crystal clear fix.
Good work, hon. While you were fixing the grill, I repaired my book, your phone screen, the car taillight, and the kids' inflatable jump house.
Nice.
Gorilla Clear Repair for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
A party?
Hi, I'm new Ensure Active Clear Protein Drink.
Clear, huh? My nutritional standards are high.
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein.
Twist my lid. That's 3 times more than me.
17 vitamins and minerals.
And 0 fat.
You'll bring a lot to the party.
Yay!
New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat, 17 vitamins and minerals, and delicious blueberry pomegranate and mixed fruit. Take life in.
If you have Medicare Part D, you could be at the corner of, I'm throwing away money, and I had no idea. Well, Walgreens has your back. Our expert pharmacists make it easy for you to save on your prescriptions, so you can keep your money where it belongs. Swing by Walgreens, where you could save even more with Medicare prescription copays as low as $0. At the corner of happy and healthy.
Started my Camry. Went to the auction. Won a storage locker. Found an old guitar. Tracked down the previous owner. Reunited them. Hit the jackpot.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota. Let's go places.
Why do you want to get everybody Spring Valley vitamins from Walmart? Because you need him to feel healthy for your big reunion. Because you need to feel the moves, not the ears.
Dance Team Captain 94.
And because you need Grandpa to feel like he has more energy than they do. Shop the whole line of Spring Valley vitamins now. Only at Walmart.com and Walmart.
Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Crazy scenes like that, yeah, as the Windy City lives up to its name. Gusts reaching more than 60 miles an hour, waves topping 21 feet, and that's just the beginning of the wild winter weather we're going to see in the coming days.
And those winds could prove to be a problem for tightrope walker Nick Wallenda. He's daring to cross the Chicago skyline on Sunday. What conditions will he face and the challenges will he face? Our Jim Cantori breaks it down. And welcome on back into Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wallace.
And I'm Kate Parker. We have had a lot going on, a lot of snow, and not always in the places that you would expect for this time of year. In Michigan, we had a lot of it.
Yeah, that's a place you do expect it here, but it was a challenge here for a local high school football team. Raquel here tweeted us this picture from Ishpeming, Michigan. They got 6 inches of snow yesterday.
That's one way to play some football. A little chilly. Where else is it chilly with this Arctic blast? A lot of places and a lot of spots seeing their very first snowflakes of the season and saying, wait a second, so early? This is a little early in this year, right? Well, it actually is the earliest that Columbia, South Carolina has ever seen snowflakes. Look at that dry air hanging out in North Florida. You're going to be seeing pretty chilly temperatures and some winds to go along with that. Look at this dip in the jet stream. Talk about amplified. I mean, that thing is just funneling that cool air in to the East Coast. And it goes as far south as Columbia, South Carolina, like I mentioned, where the first snow has already happened, and then even down into Atlanta. But Columbia, in fact, just west of town, you picked up 4.5 inches of snow this morning. That's tremendous. In the mountains, the Smoky Mountains, you have seen 16 inches of snow in spots, which means that we do have roads that are closed in that area. Please be careful if you're trying to get out and driving. They are trying to get some of those roads reopened, but it may be a little while. Charlotte, you're in this rainy mixture here, so that's kind of even more miserable whenever you have this cold of weather. It's called this air so chilly, and you're seeing snowflakes fall in other parts. You're saying, hey, at least I can get some snow out of this instead of just the rain. The rain is kind of cold and miserable. All right, here's how much you have left to go. 1 to 3 inches for Boone. If you're right through Pigeon Forge, you could be seeing close to 3 to 5 inches up in the mountains. That's in addition to what you already have. So the Northeast, you're up next on this. You're going to see these rain and snow showers start to move in. Today, you are going to see that transition more into snow tonight. And then it's all focused in Maine as we head into tomorrow. And that's where we're going to see a plethora of snowfall. In fact, places like Caribou could easily pick up to a foot of snow. So that's pretty tremendous for you. Other places, Bangor, you're going to be 5 to 8 inches. So the Arctic blast continues. You are going to see these chilly temperatures continue, and we do have a lot of watches and warnings for freezing on the map right now. Alex?
All right, well, you know, parts of North Carolina certainly getting that taste of winter, all thanks to this Arctic blast. This morning, already seen the snow there in the North Carolina mountains. Our very own Mike Seidel joins us live from Sugar Mountain. And Mike, you've been out there all morning. Are you seeing the snow let up a bit?
No, it's just continuing steadily. It's not heavy snow. This has been light, at times moderate. We also have the wind whipping it around. These wind gusts still clocking in at almost 40 miles an hour. And at 22 degrees, that puts the wind chill down to 4 above zero. That's pretty nippy for North Carolina, even in the mountains, certainly for November 1st. And you've already mentioned all the spots out of the mountains down through the Piedmont, and the coastal plain may actually get a few wet snowflakes, but certainly down around Columbia and all the way to Atlanta. We're out at Sugar Mountain Ski Resort, some bare patches, but you can see the snow is deeper in other areas. That's the issue with measuring snow out here because of the consistency is very powdery. The chairlifts are not in motion now, but more than likely, we just talked to Gunter Yokel, who is the president of the ski resort. He's giving 80% odds that they're going to be open tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., and this would be the second earliest opening. The earliest opening they had was just 2 years ago, October 31st, and that was because of Hurricane Sandy. Remember all the snow that came? We had a blizzard warning up in the mountains of West Virginia with a wraparound moisture from Sandy. Well, they had a foot of snow here, and they were able to open on Halloween. So a cold, windy day across the high country of North Carolina and Tennessee, and we get Back to you in the studio, Kate and Alex, and we just love this. Now, we'll see how it goes for the rest of the winter. It's tough to keep snow at this latitude. That's why they have a lot of snowmaking equipment, and it's on right now.
Not
Back
tough
to you.
this morning.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we should add that they're in western North Carolina. To get to Tennessee, Interstate 40 closed.
Right, we've seen a lot of snow there, and you also have a few accidents, and we spoke to the Department of Transportation. They said they did not brine the roads there, so be careful.
Yeah, well, you know, it could be his most outrageous tightrope walk yet.
Daredevil Nick Wallenda will walk over Chicago from one skyscraper to another, and that's where we find our Jim Cantori at Marina Tower East. He's going to be there as Nick battles the elements.
And Jim, intense winds, that is certainly something that we may have to deal with there, particularly that high up.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say yesterday it would have been a no-go for Nick up here about 600 feet in the air. We gusted to 64 miles per hour here. But what about when we get to Sunday night? And of course, you can't see wind. So let's try and make sense of what the wind is going to do. I want to bring in Dr. Ganesh Raman, who's a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering at Illinois Tech. Thank you for joining us, sir, to talk about this.
Thank you, Jim.
Nick Wallenda will walk from Marina West Tower all the way up to the Leo Burnett building. We feel pretty confident in a southerly component of the wind. What does that do to the wind up in that level?
Okay, so with a south wind, he's going to be walking on the leeward side of the building, which is the back of the building. Okay, so when the wind approaches from the south, the wind has to go around the building and above the building. And so several things can happen. One of them is that the front of the building, the south side, will be the high pressure side, and the rear side, which is the leeward side, will be the low pressure side. So then the flow will connect from the high pressure to the low pressure side, but on the sides of the building would also see null regions where there are separated flow, and you would also have vortices or swirling flows from the sides and the top of the building. The other effect you might...
So with respect to speed, will all of that be enhanced or higher? In other words, those vortices will be stronger?
The flow would speed up on the sides of the building. Right now, on the leeward side, the back of the building, you might also see an updraft in this type of scenario. However, this is going to depend on the exact angle of the wind. We're assuming it's going to hit exactly from the south. And it's also going to depend on the effect of the neighboring buildings, the buildings around
which there are. There are neighboring buildings within the prevailing
neighboring buildings. So each of them would have its own separated zones and vortices, you know, coming off from the sides as well as from the top.
So essentially, is it almost impossible to predict the exact wind and direction?
Yes. In this type of configuration, by just looking at it, it's almost impossible to exactly predict the unsteady forces, the wind forces that he would be seeing. However, we do research on this at Illinois Tech, both computationally and experimentally, and I would invite viewers to come visit us, iit.edu.
Thank you, Dr. Raman. We appreciate that.
Thank you so
Again,
much.
Guys, interesting to see what kind of a role a 20-mile-per-hour wind will play, again, as it hits the other side of the Leo Burnett building and once it gets to Nick on the wire. Join us Sunday night on the Discovery Channel. We will be live giving it to you all. Guys, back to you.
Woo.
And we'll all be tuned in, no doubt. As Jim mentioned, he'll be co-hosting that walk.
Oh, yeah, you can watch it starting at 7 tomorrow night on the Discovery Channel. And hey, looky here, who is it? Let's take a look at this picture. Tell me if you can, well, whatever. Just kidding. We were totally kidding on that. That was an absolute joke. Go to my Facebook or to Alex's Facebook, and you can find a picture there. It was our Halloween get-up.
It was fun times.
Yeah, it was a good time. Oh, there it is. Hey, there's Father Wallace. Never looked better.
And look at Flo.
For all your insurance needs.
Send us your pics. We want to see them, too.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. Dad, look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
You're not helping.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you anytime, anywhere, anyway. That's getting to a better state.
Not all toothbrushes are created equal. Oral-B toothbrushes are engineered with end-rounded bristles, so brushing doesn't scratch gums, and angled perfectly to remove 90% of plaque for a healthier smile. Trust the brand more dentists and hygienists use. Oral-B.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's share the news tomorrow. Today we're fairly busy. Tomorrow we're booked solid.
We close on the house tomorrow.
Want one of these opened up? Because tomorrow we go live, everybody.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today? Even bigger one tomorrow.
When CSX trains move forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
Good morning, huh? Sherry limeade, ocean water. Pretty great.
Great.
What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to calculate all the drink combinations at Sonic.
All the different sodas and the slushes and teas and everything.
The flavors, all of them.
Okay, so what is it? What's the number?
It's, hang on, now I'm getting a call. Hey, what's up, Terrence?
That is not a phone, that's a calculator.
Yeah, dude, yeah, he's here.
Wake up to the possibilities. Get any large drink for 99 cents before 10 a.m. And introducing handcrafted Sonic Splash sodas. This is how you Sonic.
Introducing Nexium 24-Hour. Finally, the purple pill, the #1 prescribed acid-blocking brand, comes without a prescription for frequent heartburn. Get complete protection. Nexium Level Protection.
Melissa, what do my wife, uncle, children, and niece all have in common?
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing. That's why I go to Walmart to do all of my holiday shopping.
Great idea.
I can get that Xbox One for my son.
I want one of those.
A Keurig 2.0 for my wife.
Ooh, I'd like one.
A Fitbit for my daughter.
Oh, that sounds really
And
fun.
frozen stuff for my niece.
Kids would love that.
What are you going to get me?
The Samsung TV.
Oh, I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
With Walmart's unbeatable prices, you can make every day till Christmas count.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Sheila, you see this ball control? You see this, right? It's 80% confidence and 64% knee brace.
That's much.
I know that's more than 100%, but that's what winners give. Now bicycle kick your old 401k into an IRA.
I know.
Listen, just get TD Ameritrade's rollover consultants on the horn. They'll guide you through the whole process. It's simple. Even she could do it. Whatever, Janet.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Welcome back. Time now for a look at your headlines. And that lava flow on the Big Island of Hawaii, it is getting dangerously close to the town of Pahoa. Yeah, this is the video that shows the destructive flow of lava as it makes its way closer to the town. Now just a few hundred feet from the town's main road that runs through downtown. Officials say the lava has slowed, but residents are still under evacuation advisories. And for many, it's just a wait and see situation.
Ain't no place safe with this lover. It could go any place where it wants to go. So that's how God moved.
Now, of course, this is something that we're going to continue to monitor the situation. But again, like he said, it's a way of life in Hawaii.
Now, you know, it was another setback for Virgin Galactic Spaceship Two. The winged spaceship exploded during a test flight, killing a pilot. This is the second fiery crash in less than a week for the spaceship, designed to take people beyond the Earth's atmosphere.
And remember that unmanned Antares rocket that exploded off the coast of Virginia earlier this week? Well, it turns out it was deliberately destroyed after it was determined the rocket could not reach orbit. Investigators are going through a large amount of debris near the launch area, trying to figure out what caused the launch failure.
And in less than 24 hours, 50,000 runners are going to be hitting the pavement in the New York City Marathon, and it's going to be a pretty chilly run.
Oh, yes, it is, but not any different from what we normally see this time of year. On average, November 2nd in Central Park, temps hang around 58 degrees. Tomorrow, we're going to be a little cooler than that.
Yeah, we're talking 40s as we get the race going out there, and on top of that, going to be very windy.
Which is good for runners, right? You were telling me a little bit about that, and we also have the perfect temperature anywhere from 45 to 55 degrees, so this is actually great news for the marathon, but they don't care too much if the winds for the winds that we're expecting to see tomorrow. Jen Carfagno has a look on how they'll impact the course.
So let's dig on in. We go to Staten Island, where the start is, and more than 50,000 runners are going to be taken off here. You go across the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and you get that wind coming straight along the Narrows, because we will be dealing with a northwest wind. It's going to be very gusty, and it's going to come uninterrupted off the water. So that is going to be a crosswind for you right here. So we go across the bridge. Now you go over into Brooklyn and up towards Queens, and you get to mile 8, which is where all the people like to hang out and cheer on. Get that energy, save it, because you're going to need it when you get to the Queensboro Bridge. Again, this is going to put you into a headwind. You're going to gain a little elevation here, and you're going to get into a headwind. You'll cross over into Manhattan, and then you'll go up First Avenue. And it could be worse, let me tell you. Going up First Avenue, you could have a north wind, but instead we'll get a northwest wind, and that will be somewhat of a crosswind. We get into the next headwind at mile 20, which most marathon runners know is like the wall. You run into that, you hit it, and if you feel like you can't go on, you're going to have to battle this headwind. But then you make the turn, and you come down Fifth Avenue, and you get to Central Park, and this is going to be your best bet up there to get the tailwind coming along Fifth Avenue. If we can get a little bit of a northerly component to the wind, that'll give you your tailwind, give you a couple of extra seconds coming down the race to the finish at Central Park. And you have done the New York City Marathon.
All right, well, let's check out those wins for the race. And yeah, we're talking 20, 25 mile an hour winds. Of course, they're going to be touching all 5 boroughs around New York City, and it doesn't matter what borough you touch, the winds will be howling.
Yeah, it is going to be chilly, and as you run the marathon, at some points you are going to face that headwind. That's going to make things a little more difficult, as Jen was telling us. When you have that tailwind, though, woo, you'll speed up your time.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're hoping for, right?
Right.
All right, well, we've got the eyes on the tropics as we track Vance.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at where that storm is heading, who will see the biggest impacts. We also have a couple little weekend events going on. What do we have brewing? No, we don't have a live look at New York City. Let's take a look at that, and where we've got quite a foggy, wet day. Woo.
Yeah, that's not looking too pretty at all.
No, it'll be better for the marathon tomorrow as far as the sky conditions are concerned, but as we mentioned, those winds going to be blustery.
Buckle up, particularly if you're spectating.
This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified asthma and allergy friendly. It's our new standard of clean. Call about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Listen to that!
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What do astronauts eat?
Have lunch with one and find out. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
Support both mental sharpness and physical energy with Barocca, proud sponsor of Mind and Body.
This is a pip.
It's part of a Hershey's bar.
We break it.
We bite it.
We sneak it.
We smush it. We savor it.
We love it.
Hershey's is mine. Yours.
Our chocolate.
Okay, Patrick, one more stop. Let's go base, shark, blitz. Base, shark, blitz.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, this is for the game.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Abort, he's keeping it.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition. For most people, earning cash back ends here at the purchase. But there's a new card in town. Introducing the Citi Double Cash Card. It lets you earn cash back when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back twice. It's cash back with a side of cash back. The Citi Double Cash Card. The only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase. With 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
What does a 37 million horsepower launch feel like?
Experience it for yourself. Only at Kennedy Space Center.
What's that thing?
I moved our old security system out here to see if it could monitor the front yard.
Why don't you switch to Xfinity Home? I get live video monitoring and 24/7 professional monitoring that I can arm and disarm from anywhere.
Hey, the awkward teenaged one has arrived.
Don't be old-fashioned. Switch to Xfinity Home. Connected, protected, home.
Ovation, America's only arts network. Features the art of fashion.
Right now, this is our moment.
Music. Original series.
What would this mean for you getting on the stage?
Curated films.
I truly hope so.
And more.
It'll be fun.
Watch The Fashion Fund, starring Anna Wintour and Diane von Furstenberg, premiering November 5th. Ovation, art everywhere. Watch Ovation on Xfinity.
And even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this!
Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Good morning to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, live in downtown Atlanta, Georgia, and in Atlanta, like so many cities in the Southeast, despite the sun that comes out every once in a while, when people walk outside, millions of people today, this morning, walk outside, gonna feel the cold. Big change. A cold front has come through, and behind it, we have a lot of wind in the Southeast. We've been watching the traffic lights swaying throughout the morning. The cones have been knocked over a few times. Got to put those back up as well. It is windy. It is cold. And keep this in mind. Last week, Alex and Kate, on Sunday, 1 week ago, 84 degrees. Now it feels like it's freezing because of the wind.
Talk about a shock to the system.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, and, you know, extremely windy across not just the Atlanta area, but the rest of the South.
Yeah, in Atlanta last night, actually, my power was knocked out thanks to some branches down from the wind. So Dr. Greg Postel is in the lab with why this Arctic blast is bringing these strong winds. What's going on, Doc?
Yeah, it won't quit. You know, I mean, it's very, very windy aloft. I mean, just about 1,000 feet above the ground. The winds are like 50 miles per hour in Georgia, South Carolina, and even parts of western North Carolina. So the mountains are getting very windy conditions, obviously. But even down at the ground, if you get a little bit of overturning in the lowest 500 to 1,000 feet, and we are getting that, you're going to bring some of those strong wind gusts down to the surface, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We're also seeing some snow, of course. We're seeing less and less of it now that the sun is out. It may not be going through the clouds all the way to the ground, but there's enough radiation getting through that we're starting to see mostly rain in South Carolina, where earlier today we saw snow. Let's go to the graphic. We are now showing you mostly rain here, but I do want to tell you that parts of some of these interstates have been closed across the region, so keep in mind if you're traveling all across South Carolina, watch out for the warnings and advisories from the Departments of Transportation. So be careful. The roads have been slick this morning and will likely continue to be so, certainly across parts of even downstate South Carolina. But we know that the mountains, it's been snowing hard and it's been really windy. Asheville now 23, gusts to 36, still snowing up that way. Look at this, Atlanta, 29 miles per hour, sustained gust to 40. So there will be flight delays in addition. And then we got to track this thing, guys, up the coast because it's going to carry all those windy conditions with it, especially in eastern New England. Tomorrow it is going to be very windy with gusts perhaps over 50 miles per hour in parts of eastern Massachusetts and some significant snow in Maine, guys. Stay tuned for all that. That's the next big story coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Postel.
Not so fast, though. But wait, there's more. More with Dr. Postel. You're actually not going to switch gears because we still have a little bit to talk about in the tropics.
Yeah, we do. The tropics are not dead yet. We do have still some activity in the East Pacific that could impact the United States. Let's have a look at Tropical Storm Vance. This is in the East Pacific, where it's been ridiculously active all year long. We have a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm. And notice, look, the V letter, that tells you that we've gone through a lot of storms down the alphabet from A to V. This is our 20th named storm out that way. And this is the cone from the Hurricane Center. They take it westward, but then look, it goes north and then northeast, weakening along the way, we think, perhaps getting up to a Cat 1 hurricane, but weakening before it gets close to the coast there, probably bringing some moisture and maybe even some rain, not just to Mexico, but maybe across Mexico and into the United States. This would be the remnants of Vance moving in there, adding a little kick of moisture out here to a front that we think by next Wednesday will already be there, but there might be some added rainfall thanks to the moisture from Vance. Kate and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Postel. And, well, that's going to do it for us here this morning, but we're not done here on the Weather Channel. We've got more action to track. We've got Bonnie. Mark, what's coming up?
A lot more cold, a lot more snow. People are still shocked stepping outside today and just getting hit by this cold air.
Plus, we have the New York City Marathon tomorrow, and the wind is going to have a big impact. Hopefully, it'll help the runners.
Yeah, and we're getting those new pictures of the mudslide in California this morning, so I'm sure you guys will be touching on that as well.
Yeah, it's a bad situation out there. Those homes, oh, gosh.
Just imagine that being buried up to your waist in mud. Luckily, he was okay, but we're still kind of sifting through and seeing what else happened with that event.
Okay.
Well, we'll be
leaving you in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Saturday morning. For those dealing with the cold, bundle up, stay warm.
Hot chocolate for everyone.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear, low 48. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
traffic lights not the only things crashing down on this first day of November. Temperatures crashing down to a head-snapping Arctic blast rocks 150 million people in more than 24 states. And get this, snow falling in the south.
Ooh. And daredevil Nik Wallenda's walk between two Chicago skyscrapers tomorrow is fraught with all kinds of peril, the weather being one of the biggest threats. There's a science behind Wallenda's stunt, and you'll see that right here, right now on Weather Center Live.
Well, 150 million people in 25 states are shivering through our first big Arctic blast of the season, and our team of meteorologists is covering out there for you.
Jim Cantori's in Chicago, Mike Seidel's in Sugar Mountain, North Carolina, and Chris Warren is in Atlanta, a southern city that saw its first snowflakes of the season early this morning.
And welcome into Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider in for Kate Parker. As you watch our show today, send us pictures of what you're doing for this weekend. The hashtag is Your Weekend.
Yeah, people stepping outside, feeling the cold, seeing the snow. I mean, seeing scenes like this, that's not what they anticipated for the 1st of November, right?
It's nice snowman. Good work there. This is from an Indian River, Michigan, from Debbie Schwartz, and she found this little snowman as on her ledge. She made it. It's kind of a miniature snowman, but still pretty cool. We'd love to see your pictures for what you're doing this weekend in the cold. Mark?
And Bonnie, my goodness, not exactly what they anticipated, that's for sure. How about this? Snow sticking in South Carolina, Edgefield, South Carolina. The kids loving it. This was posted to our Facebook page. Halloween costume maybe coming into a, added benefit there, keeping you warm out in the snow. But man, it is chilly across the South, that's for sure. Let's get into the details here about the snow and about that cold across the South. We're going to start things off across the southern states here. Look at this. First snowflakes for some this weekend, that's for sure. And here's the snow that we've already seen. This is a record. Mount LeConte, 17 inches of snow, blowing past the old record, which was, I believe, 6 inches of snow. But also this is maybe even more impressive to me. Greenville, South Carolina, 2.5. Lexington, South Carolina, over an inch of snow. That's not what you anticipated when you were in the 80s just a couple of days ago. Here's what's responsible. Area of low pressure, big trough that's brought down that cold air, and this storm system is really cranking up at this point. Still seeing some snow in and around the Asheville area and the kind of the spine of the Appalachian chain. A lot of this is starting to fizzle out as the kind of the oomph of that area of low pressure is moving a little bit further towards the east, and that's going to bring that rain along with it. So we're now looking at more rain from Georgia into South Carolina along I-20. There have been some closures on I-20 as well as I-40. We're going to give you more details on that as the show goes on. And here's that wider view. You can see that counterclockwise spin. Some of the coastal rain starting to get into the mix also. So as we go through the rest of today, here's what we can expect. There's still winter storm warnings up along the Appalachian chain. Boone, you are included in that. Georgia State up there playing at Appalachian State. My goodness, that's going to be quite the football game. Winter weather advisory in place for Asheville. And as we time this out for you, we can see this area of low pressure heading towards the coastline and eventually curling up the coast. So even as some lingering snow showers remain for the spine of the Appalachian chain, even through the rest of the weekend, our focus will go off the coastline to that area of low pressure that's moving right on through. As for the snow that you could still have, remember, we already have seen record-breaking snowfall amounts. 3 to 5 inches of snow, not out of the question. Additionally, with a widespread 1 to 3 over those higher elevations. Further north, less than 1, but still snowflakes flying and really setting that mood for you. Wind is also a big factor here, Bonnie. That's what's helping to bring down those cold temperatures. That northerly flow continuing, although it will wind down as the weekend continues. Over to you.
Well, you certainly can feel the wind, but check this out. It's November 1st, so some of you are probably thinking, big deal, it snows this time of year. Well, this isn't Detroit or Minneapolis. It's Sugar Mountain, North Carolina. You can barely see it. Meteorologist Mike Seidel, he is up there with a report of what's happening. Now, Mike, I hope you have your snow skis, or perhaps you're going to make some snow angels in the snow because it looks perfect behind you.
It does, Bonnie. We've got the wind whipping up here. We're getting some little snow devils. Look behind me. You can hardly see down towards one of the slopes. Visibility is down about a little less than a half a mile, so not quite heavy snow, but the snow and the wind, we've still got the gust over 40 miles an hour, and that's pushed the wind chill down with a temperature of 22 down to 4 above zero. There are the chairlifts here on Sugar Mountain, and they are likely going to be in motion tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m. We'll have an extra hour of sunlight in the morning tomorrow. That's a good thing, especially with rush hour on Monday, if you know what I mean. And so they get the chairlifts open. They'll get the skiers on the slope. Second earliest opening. The earliest was 2 years ago, courtesy of Sandy throwing moisture back into the mountains. They had a foot of snow on Halloween. As far as the weather goes here, we'll get better late tonight and tomorrow. The winds will back off. But again, for a lot of us in the southeast, Bonnie, away from the mountains, we'll see our first hard freeze of the season on Sunday morning. Bonnie,
oh boy,
back to
hard
you.
freeze and that brutal snow and wind. Mike is really braving the elements. Well, not quite the case in New York City and Philadelphia. We have more of a light rain falling in both of those cities, and it should dry out, but it is going to turn much, much colder as we go through. You know, there's so much going on in the Northeast, a lot of events happening this weekend as well. So let's take a look, because it's been a snowy start for many places, but in the Northeast, what we're seeing is rain. Now, some of it is heavy at times, so be prepared for those downpours for the early part of the day, especially. You can see into Philadelphia, much of New Jersey, and then across New York City, Westchester County, we're seeing some heavy rain falling, and into the Northeast as well across the Long Island Sound. This strong upward level disturbance combined with this dip in the jet stream has really pulled down some colder air, and that's why one of the reasons we're seeing those first flakes of the year, like in South Carolina and North Carolina, cold air in place and the storm system developing. So it's something to keep a watch on, because it's going to keep our temperatures way down below normal. And with that brutal wind that Mark was talking about, it's just going to feel even worse. So we're watching for the winds to come as the storm pushes to the east, and then a strong northwesterly wind. That's a brutal wind, because you'll feel it. You'll just feel it as soon as you step outside. Make sure if you're heading out that you really protect the extremities with your hands and your head covered with a hat. Here's a look at some of the winds expected as we go through the day today. Very strong, sustained winds. Keep in mind that gusts will be stronger than that, especially along coastal areas. Portland getting some fierce wind, and Caribou, that's a city that'll face some snow as we go into the evening hours as well. Rain and snow showers across much of the Northeast. A tough day for travel. I checked the airport delays, and right now we have one delay in Philadelphia, almost an hour for arriving flights. But Mark, I'm sure as we go through the day, we'll have more of that coming up.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Northeast, the New York City Marathon just a day away. We're going to have the forecast for that big race a little later. But first, the Midwest hit hard by this Arctic blast. We'll give you the details from there.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way. Nice.
This Whirlpool washer or dryer, now just $4.99 each at Lowe's.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
We love
Chocolatey,
creamy with a little something extra.
deliciousness.
Cookies
Or almonds.
yumminess. Hershey's is mine.
Yours, our chocolate.
Dear Murphy, thanks for being a warm pillow, a snuggler, and showing me that slobber just adds character.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. For 3 days only at PetSmart, save 30% on thousands of items. PetSmart.
Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 72. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, low 47. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Hi, I'm new Ensure Active Clear Protein drink.
Clear, huh?
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein. New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat. Ensure. Take life in.
It's here in your floor's crevices that vacuums leave microscopic allergens like these pollens and mold spores. But the Dyson DC65 uses a self-adjusting cleaner head for improved suction on hard floors and deep cleaning on carpets, while powerful cyclone technology captures even microscopic dirt and safely locks it all in here. DC65 sucks up more dust, dirt, and allergens than any other vacuum across carpets and hard floors.
Shake it, groove it. Sensitive bladder? Never miss a chance to dance. Introducing a revolution in bladder leak protection. New, always discreet. Up to 40% thinner for superior comfort. Absorbs 2 times more than you may need for dance all you want protection. No wonder more women already prefer new Always Discreet pads over Poise. New Always Discreet. Now bladder leaks can feel like no big deal. Because, hey, pee happens. Visit alwaysdiscreet.com for coupons and your free sample.
Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
We had gusts to almost hurricane force over Lake Michigan.
I've never seen anything like this.
Man, being into photography, I feel bad for that cameraman holding that camera and knocked over by the wave. It might seem like Chicago skipped fall, jumped right into winter. You're now in the mid-30s. You saw some snow flurries as well.
And waves are crashing onto the lake shore, and flights into O'Hare were delayed as much as 6 hours at one point yesterday. Storm chaser Jim Cantore is in the midst of the elements.
We're standing on top of Marina Tower East, where Nick Wallenda is going to finish his second walk blindfolded. You can see Lake Michigan behind me here, a far cry from where it was yesterday. This is where he's going to walk from Marina Tower West over to the east. That's 94 feet. And by the way, he's going to do it blindfolded. Yesterday, nobody was going anywhere on any wire, especially up this high. It gusted to 64 miles per hour up here, but it canceled many, many flights. Over 700 at O'Hare Airport as winds gusted over 50 miles per hour. Second problem, the waves. Huge waves on Lake Michigan. Coming in, rolling right up the lake embankment there, and you can see them kind of crashing into one photographer, which I'm sure had quite a chill after that, because remember, temperatures are dropping into the 30s. The third problem is a lot of this was overwashing Lakeshore Drive right here at North Avenue Beach. So they actually had to slow things down at times and wait for some of those waves to push across, not only on the northbound lanes, but also on the southbound side as well. Calling it the worst event there since 1987. So it was an incredible day for weather yesterday in Chicago. Today it's pretty chilly up here as well. We're only in the 30s. Tomorrow the winds shift around from the south. It'll be a challenge for Nick. And once again, it'll be a challenge for all trying to stay outside, enjoy warmer temperatures. They're not to be found here for at least a couple of days in Chicago. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Jim. Boy, that is going to be a riveting event to watch. I'm looking forward to it. The Arctic blast is bringing bitter cold and wind to much of the country. It definitely is November 1st, and you are feeling the change in the weather across the region. If we go ahead and advance the maps, what we're looking at right now is definitely some cold in Chicago. The winds are gusting, and they are strong. We have winds out of the northeast that are sustained, but the winds, as you can see, are just coming from the northwest. You can see those lines, those white lines indicating the icebergs where the winds are coming from, actually from the north. And look at this, temperatures into the 30s at this time, and it's going to be brutally cold out there with that wind chill, feeling like it's in the 20s in many locations. Feels like it's 25 in Des Moines and 27 in Kansas City. Even Kentucky and Indianapolis, where there was some snow yesterday, feeling like it's in the 20s. November 1st certainly is the time of year where we get cold, but some of these numbers are definitely below normal. What can we expect today? Let's put the map in motion, and you'll see that the timeline takes us to strong strong winds, kind of fluctuating in Cincinnati, but stronger. And then as the storm system works its way to the east, they get a little bit more light towards the Midwest, but still strong enough to make it feel really cold out there. Tomorrow morning is going to be brutal. 30 in Chicago, 27 in Detroit. And then by the time we get to Monday, a little bit more moderation, so you get above freezing. I think that will feel better. 35 in Detroit and then 34 in Cleveland, all the way up to 40.